going on, everybody? We are back with another video with Old Big Red, and in today's video I figured let's go over the 5 things that I love about our 1960 Ford F100. So the first thing on my list is actually the front end here. The front end is one of my favorite parts of this truck. This generation of the Ford F100 is actually my favorite out of all the generations, and that's because of how this front end looks. Now, one of the main parts that I love about it is kind of these big headlight covers here with the dual headlights, and besides that, I just love how the front end clashes together. It's a cool grille design. It's cool how they have the hood kind of overlapping the front bumper when it closes, and besides that, I actually love the bug guard. Now, I know a lot of you guys hate the bug guard, and I would never end up putting one of these on my own truck, but I feel like it adds a lot of character for Old Big Red, and honestly, that's how we got its name. And I know a lot of you are gonna hate it, but the bug guard is gonna stay on our F100. The second thing on my list is the rear end of this truck, and it's mainly because of the tailgate. Back in the day, they didn't have a normal handle and latch design. They actually came up with this design here, and it's basically a latch design, but it's just a little bit different. We have, a chain here and then a handle, and then it kind of just latches into this part over here. And then to undo it, you just pop all this off, and then you're able to open and close your tailgate. That's just something that I think is really cool from this time period. And besides that, the Ford lettering on the back of the tailgate is just really aesthetically pleasing. Now we're in the interior of Old Big Red, and this is actually one of my favorite parts of the truck. And I know what you're thinking, why would that be the case? I know this thing's pretty beat, but to be honest, the whole truck's kind of beat, so I gotta go with what I have here. Now, as far as the interior goes, I love bench seats. We still have one slightly intact. And then as far as the rest of the interior goes, I just love the way they designed this from the factory. The dash, super simple, not a lot going on, it's smoothed out, and the color of the dash matches the outside color of the truck. And besides that, we have a huge steering wheel, which I absolutely love, and we still have the original Ford Magic Air system, and it's still all in one piece and intact, which is something you don't see very often. For the fourth item on my list, it's going to be the drivetrain. Now, for the people that don't know at home, we have a 351 Cleveland in our Ford F100. Now, I didn't swap that in there, but at some point in this truck's life, somebody else did the work, and I'm pretty glad that they did. The 351 Cleveland is a very stout and reliable engine, and it's super easy to work on. I mean, take it from a guy like me, I've never worked on one of these before in my entire life. This truck hasn't ran in 30 or 40 years, and somehow I got it to run. It was only for a couple of seconds, but it did fire over and it did run. Now, in another video, we are going to take it a step further. We're going to actually swap out carb and a few other parts, and we're going to try to put it around the parking lot or the field, so definitely stay tuned to see that. The last thing on my list is just my love and appreciation for the fact that Big Red is here and kind of in one piece. It's 2023 and this truck is from 1960, and that's a long time, and almost anything can happen in a matter of that time. So the fact that this thing is still here in one piece at our studio today is awesome in itself. Now, if you go and try to find a 1960 Ford F100, it's going to be a challenge, especially trying to find one that's all in one piece and has everything like this truck does. Now, of course, Old Big Red does have some rot issues, but for the rot that it does have, it's really not that bad for the area that we live in. You see, we live in Pennsylvania, and if you don't know, Pennsylvania can get some pretty harsh winters. I mean, the entire Northeast can, for that fact. And when that happens, well, we get a lot of rust with it. And unfortunately, a lot of our vehicles get rotted out, but luckily our Ford F100 isn't too bad, and like I said, it's still in one piece and here at our studio today. Those are the 5 things that I love about our 1960 Ford F100, and definitely subscribe because the next video is going to be the 5 things that I hate about our Ford F100. And don't worry, I read all of your guys' comments about how you guys want to see this thing running or driving around the parking lot, so I got a ton of parts on order for this, so we're going to get this thing in tip-top shape, get it running, get it driving, put it around the parking lot, maybe try to do some donuts in the field, but definitely subscribe so you can end up seeing that. It's time to drop a gear and disappear. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, if you need any classic truck parts, just click the link down below in our description.